up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be doing another nail tryout for you guys today. I'm so excited for you guys to see how these came out. To start off, I got a LED lamp because I didn't own one and I knew I wanted to do polygel, and this is just a lamp that my girlfriend found from Amazon through Fat Kit deals. It is an LED lamp, like I said, and it's just a basic 48 watt lamp. It has 3 settings on it. It has a light heat mode, so that's really nice. So yeah, it was really cute. So today we're going to be trying out the Makartt polygel nail kit. It comes with 3 colors and a bunch of cool stuff. First thing that's on top is some instructions, and basically in the instructions there are nice pretty pictures for you to follow along. If you've never done polygel or heard of it, I would recommend to just really read through this and be thorough so that you don't miss anything. Today I'm going to be using the forms, so these are the instructions I'm going to be using. It comes with base coat, top coat, some nail surface cleaner. It's a 2-in-1 formula, so you can use this as slip solution and to take off the sticky layer of the polygel. There is clear, soft pink, and nude pink, and all of these have about 0.5 fluid ounces of product in them, so they should last you a good little while. It comes with a file. One side is 100 grit and the other side is a 180 grit. This is going to be the only tool I'll be using today to file these nails. And then the nail forms, as well as dual forms, and a brush slash picker. The brush is obviously used to work the polygel. This brush was really nice because it was super small and I was able to work the product around. The picker is used to just grab the product from the bottle and put onto your nail. You will see me do that later. But this is everything, again, that all comes in the kit. If you want to try out a polygel kit and don't know what to get, I would get a kit like this that has everything that you need to start out. So this is one hand done. When I did this hand, I used forms completely for everything, and that actually ended up taking so long. So I'm deciding that on my left hand, I'm going to be using the dual forms in combination with the sticky forms. You'll see what I mean later on, but this is how they came out. I loved it. My left hand did surprisingly really well, so I was excited to do my right hand this time. So we're gonna just find our sizes with the dual forms. I found that it was extremely hard to find a dual form to fit both side walls of my nail. You'll see later on what I mean, but I have a different kind of shape than the dual form is, and like I could have filed them, but to be honest, like I was not in the mood to do all that. I had been working on my right hand for so long that I just wanted to just pop these on and like make my process go by quicker. So I just found the size that best fit, and then you'll see how I fix the gap. But you want to make sure that if you do this, that these nails do fit from sidewall to sidewall. It was really hard to find one for my thumb. I think when I do nails, my next nail video, I will be using clear tips. I think that will change the game for me. So stay tuned for that. So we're going to start off with some base coat. My nails have already been prepped, cuticles cut, nails filed and buffed and all that good stuff. So we're going to start out with some base coat. And then I go in and I cure that for 60 seconds. Good thing about this lamp is that it was super sensitive. The bad thing about this lamp is that it was super sensitive. So anytime I went by it, it would turn on even when I wasn't using it. So just be mindful of that. It's not like a big deal, but that is a thing that happens. So I cured this for 60 seconds. And now it's time to get the slip solution ready. So we're going to be using the nail cleanser. This is practically alcohol. It is alcohol. So I was interchanging using the stuff in this bottle and my own alcohol. You will see me doing that, but it's all the same thing. This is used to help work the polygel and keep it from being too sticky when you're trying to form your nail. So this is an important thing to have when working with polygel. Taking my first finger, I'm going to be using the nude color first. This is nude pink. And I'm just going to take a little bit and squeeze it into the dual form. When doing this, I would recommend to squeeze out a little bit at a time. You can always flash cure in between layers and build it up if you absolutely need to, but I would definitely try to refrain from overfilling your forms. After that, I then dip my brush in the alcohol, making sure it's saturated but not too wet, and I work the polygel in the dual form, making sure that it's nice and smooth and it's at the length and thickness that I want for my nail. Now, one thing to keep in mind when doing something like this, you want to just take your time. The polygel is not going to dry. It's not like acrylic. The only thing that keeps the polygel from moving is when you put it under the lamp. So you have so much time to work with this product. And that's why it's so beginner friendly, and this was something I really wanted to try because I wanted to have the nails that I wanted, but acrylic was so much harder to work with that acrylic is not going to be my go-to thing to do my own nails. What I'm doing here is I'm just smoothing it out all the way across the dual form, making sure I get an even amount from edge to edge, and I wipe away whatever might come off the side. You can just watch me work with the product here. It takes me some time to do this because, like I said, this is my first time working with polygel. So I felt like it was a little bit too thin, so I wanted just to add a little bit more into the form. So I'm just going to do the same thing with that little bead of polygel that I did with the first one. To To smooth it out, I gently drag the brush across the surface and use the alcohol to help me, but make sure you don't press down. Now it's time to put the dual form on. This is the part that was super hard for me because pressing down on the dual form means also possibly squeezing some of that polygel out of the dual form. So when that happens, you want to just take the brush dipped in some alcohol and you want to just wipe away the polygel, making sure that it's all fitting on there. I don't like these dual forms. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a fan of this method. It seems that every time I go to press the nail on, it starts to lift more. And I don't know, like that like really bothered me because it didn't help the fact that my nail wasn't staying in place enough for me to like set it. And it just felt like everything was getting messed up underneath, and like I wasn't sure if it was actually going to work. And like you'll see later that this nail actually breaks off because it didn't cure all the way through, and you'll see why. But I just tried my hardest to get it as smooth and as neat as possible, and I popped it under the LED lamp for 60 seconds just so I can get a full cure. I made a mistake by not flipping my nail over to see the inside and smoothing out that polygel. So you're gonna see that when I was moving the nail around to fit it and make it clean, I was also moving the polygel on the opposite side of the nail, making it all types of like built up, and you'll see what I mean. I'll have to clip it away later, but here I'm trying to wipe what I can, but I've got a load of polygel just cured right on the inside of the nail. And to avoid that, you want to make sure that before you cure, you make sure that the inside of the nail is smoothed out with your brush. So yeah, there's pros and cons to the dual forms, but I was not a fan of like the result of the nail. Once you've cured it, you want to just pop the nail off. It shouldn't take too long. As you can see, I've got a little bit of a gap, and then there's all that polygel just like so gross under there. The only way that I knew how to fix this was to get some cuticle clippers and just cut away at the inside. You'll see me do that. But that is the gap that I'm talking about that the dual form didn't cover. My nail, it just was a whole space there. So I'm going to fix that. But before that, I'm going to just cut away at this polygel on the inside and just make it look as best as I can, because I was not going to take this nail off and redo it. If this happens, just use something like this to just cut away at that polygel. If you have an e-file, you would be able to file that down later on. So it's really not that big of a deal. So I took a little bit more polygel on the end of my picker and I just worked a little bead on the side. I just wanted to fill in that gap. These nails aren't going to be this long. They're going to be rounded and shortened for that French curve that I want for the nail. So it's not really going to matter. I just really wanted to fill in that gap. Cure that for another 60 seconds just to be sure. This is all of my fingers done. So I'm just going to mimic that same curve by filing all of these little nude nails down to look just like that. And that's the nail filed. I did that to all the other nails. And this is all of them filed and shaped. Now it's time to just put on the sticky forms. Now, this was my first time using forms, and these forms are extremely sticky. It was really hard to just like pop it on there and like adjust it to fit my finger without it sticking to myself. So it was like a challenge to get these on in the first place, but eventually I made it work. Squeezing a little bit of the clear polygel onto the picker, and I'm just going to pop that right on top of the form. The good thing about this Makartt gel is that it's actually quite thick, so it's nice to work with, but in the same sense, like sometimes getting it out of the bottle, it can be like a little stringy and hard to detach from the inside of the bottle. I don't know if that makes sense, but it could be like when you are working on yourself, that's kind of, it can be just a little bit annoying, but I have no complaints about the polygel otherwise. So my pinky was extremely hard to do because it was so tiny, and like I said, this was my first time working with form, so it was just an interesting angle to work from. So I tried putting my hand down, I tried switching my hand over to the other side just to get the best angle so that I can get the best shape I could with this form. And I just smooth that polygel on top of the nude pink to seal it, and then also to make my tip. And then I'm going to flash cure that for 30 seconds so that it holds, and I don't have to worry about holding the form while I work on the rest of the nail. Took a little bit more polygel, and I'm going to just put some on the side because that side was missing a wall. If this is your first time working with polygel, or if you've never used it before, just know that it's not going to come out perfect the first time. It is going to be extremely lumpy and messy. It's just all about learning how the product works. Don't overthink it at all. Just try your best, because in the end, polygel is an extremely easy material to file, and you'll be able to file these nails into the shape that you want anyway. So don't beat yourself up over it. Just take your time. This was extreme. This took me so much. Like these nails took me probably almost 6 hours to do. So if that tells you anything, yeah, there's that. So just don't be too hard on yourself. Take your time with the stuff. Once you get the hang of it, you'll be fine. I just worked that as best as possible using the alcohol to my advantage. It actually helps you smooth out the polygel really nicely. So I was just doing my best. And when I was finally done, I would cure it for a full 60 seconds. these are all of the nails with all of the clear polygel on. I took forever to do these, but it was all worth it in the end. So before I file, I'm just going to cut off the little like stringy pieces of polygel that are just not necessary, that I don't have to deal with when I'm filing. And I'm just gonna go in and file my nails. I'm going to eventually purchase an e-file, and that's going to change the game for me, because the e-file is going to make this process go by so much easier and faster. So just imagine, like, if you're a beginner and you don't have an e-file, like, these polygel nails are going to just be so easy for you. You're not going to need to buy a bunch of stuff. You can just use what you have at home. So I think these are great. But I like to go for an extremely square shape. Because I used the forms, they still came out much wider than I would like and not as narrow. These are the nails filed. It's time for some top coat. As you can see, my thumbnail is gone, you guys. It was just such a disaster, but I cured that for 60 seconds. Wipe off that top layer. This is the final look. Obviously, I'm going to show you my best hand. I am obsessed with these nails. I hope that you guys are obsessed with these nails. If you guys like this video, please give it a like. Comment down below a pink heart if you want to see more polygel nail videos. Subscribe down below if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next video.